Welcome to our channel EM3365. Like and subscribe, then press the bell icon and select all. By doing this, our new videos will reach you always. This is for 12th standard computer application subject. In 12th standard computer application subject, there is a 5th chapter PHP function and array. So in this video, I am going to explain what is function in PHP programming language. So first of all, we want to know what is function in PHP programming language. Actually, function is a block of segment in a program. What? A function is a block of statement in a program. Why the block of statement in a program means to perform a specific operation. That's why we need a block of segment in a program. That's what function. So some kind of example I have given as a function. Here insert, execute, delete, calculate. These are the functions. So we can create in our wish a function. Actually, while we are creating a function, we need to use the function keyword in front of the function name. That is the main one and the mandatory one. That is what function creation. So in a PHP programming language, there is three kinds of functions. The first one is user defined function. The second one is predefined function. The third one is parameterized function. So here in PHP, there is three kinds of functions. That's what I said now. And how to declare a function, and then how to create a user defined function. Create means defining a user defined function. That's what here I am going to explain. First, user defined function. Actually, user defined function means in that case the PHP gives a privilege to the user. What privilege? To write their own specific operation inside a programming code. That's what a privilege. A privilege means it will give the privilege to write their own specific operation inside of existing program module. That is what it's a privilege. So we can create our own codes to complete or to accomplish some specific task or specific operation. That's what they are trying to explain. Here I am. So and then here how to declare, that means how to declare or how to create a user defined functions here. So while we are declaring a user defined function, we need to add the function name in front of the function keyword in front of the function name. That means first of all, the function name begins with the keyword function and then function name, and finally opening and closing parentheses needs to give. That is what the declaration of user defined function. And then here I have given one syntax for to create function, user defined function. See the syntax I given. First I used a function, a keyword, and then function name. So after the function name I have added, that means I have appended opening and closing parentheses. So the opening and closing parentheses only makes a function name as a function, a name as a function. Otherwise it can't. It will not perform and it will give some kind of error messages on the web page. Otherwise it will not do some operations, what operation we need. So to give the block of code or block of comments, we need to give opening and closing curly braces. Then only it will become as a block of the function name, the block of code of this function name. That's what I given. This is syntax. First in the syntax, first is a function keyword and then function name and then opening and closing parentheses and then opening curly braces, and here is a code. That means custom logic code to be executed. So because why they have given the custom code means, so this is a user defined function. The user defined function always consists with the custom code Custom code means the code will be decided by the user wish. That's what a custom. And then logic code. So here, without logic, there is nothing in the computer program. That's what a custom logic code to be executed. Yes, in this function, execute this custom logic code. That's why they have given custom logic code to be executed. And finally, closing curly braces. So closing curly braces means the opening and closing curly braces makes the block of code to the function name. This is what syntax to create user-defined function. And then after defining a function, how to execute this function means we need to call that function. What name we have given, and that name only needs to give to call. Here see a syntax. Syntax means function name and opening and closing parentheses and semicolon. The function name means which function we want or which function we need to call to execute for execution, and that name only be here. So here in a syntax of creating or declaring function, here I have given a function name. The same function here calling, that's what function name. And here I have given a semicolon in the end, but not in definition syntax. So here we need to give, then only the function can accept and perform this operation. What kind of operation we have given inside that function name, that function will be executed here. And then see the example. I have given an example. See the example. So the example is the opening and default opening and closing PHP syntax. I have given the opening means opening angular bracket and then question mark and PHP. This is opening, and question mark and closing angular bracket. These two are the default tag to write a PHP code. So in between opening and closing default syntax, default tag, I have created one function. So see that example, function is a keyword. In the syntax I have said, here I have added function space insert capital MSG, capital MSG. So insert MSG means a function name, because I have given opening and closing parentheses after the insert MSG function name. So this is what I told now in the syntax of function creation. So function is the keyword. So after insert MSG and opening and closing parentheses, I have given opening curly braces, opened curly braces, and I have given echo statement. So here I am going to print a string. That's why I used the echo statement. The string is student details inserted successfully and exclamation mark. What? The student details inserted successfully exclamation mark. Because here I have given directly a string as a value in a echo statement. So whenever we use the string value, at the moment the string value must be enclosed by the double quotation. That's what I have used here, double quotations. And finally I used the semicolon to end the statement in this line. That's what here I have given. And then closing curly braces, closed curly braces, curly braces. So the opening and closing curly braces makes the block of code to that insert MSG function. That's why we have used it. So this is function definition. So after the function definition or function creation, we need to call that function. Then only what function we have created, that function will perform the same operation, what operation we have given as a code inside the function name. Here I called insert MSG, opening and closing parentheses and then semicolon. So here I have used a semicolon. This same is said in the function calling syntax, because in a PHP we need to give a semicolon at the end of a line. Then only the processor will go to the next line. So and I closed the PHP default tag because the PHP programming language code ended. So now I have created one function. That function name is insert MSG, and after that I called that function name insert MSG. So here it will be executed and print on the browser the string content, the string value. What is the string value means? Student details inserted successfully. This is the way of creating user-defined function, and then this is the way of calling or executing the created function name. This is the user-defined function. And next is predefined function. This is also one kind of or one sort of functions, but little difference is there. A slight difference is there. What it means? The user-defined function want to create or want to be created by the user or the programmer, but in this case a predefined function, the functions already created and already checked out and saved in the PHP programming language. But we can use that. We couldn't be able to delete one. We couldn't be able to delete, modify, and whatever we need, we can't. But we can directly use it. That is what predefined function. So here five kinds of predefined functions is there in PHP programming language. These are PHP string function and PHP array function and PHP math function and PHP MySQLi function, and finally PHP file system functions. So here are 5 types of functions there. The first one is PHP string functions. So this kind of functions is used to manipulate as strings. What? Manipulate a string. So manipulate a string means deals with the string operations. That's what this predefined functions, PHP string functions. Whenever we need string related operations or string related functions as a predefined, we can call this from this. And then PHP array function. So PHP array function means this is one kind of functions allows you to access and manipulate arrays. So whenever we want to use the array operations or array creation or to save multiple value in array, at the moment we can use these predefined functions, array predefined functions. That's what here. This kind of PHP array function will allow you to access and manipulate arrays. And then PHP math function. So this sort of functions deals with the math functions. Math function means mathematical operations or mathematical calculations. So if we want to create a function deals with the mathematical operation means at the moment we can access these kind of functions to perform some kind of operations. That's why they have given PHP math function. And then PHP MySQLi functions. Actually this is MySQLi functions. Actually the MySQLi means database operations. So this predefined function will always deals with the database servers. So actually this PHP MySQLi functions deals with the database. Actually these kind of functions allows you to access MySQL database servers. This is what PHP MySQLi functions. And finally PHP file system functions. Actually these also one sort of predefined functions which is used to allow you to access and manipulate the file system. Actually file system. So whenever you need to deal with the file system, we can use the predefined function PHP file system functions. So here in a predefined function in PHP, 5 kinds of predefined functions. That means 5 types of built-in functions are available. These are I said now. And the third one is parameterized function. The third one is parameterized function. Actually, what is a parameterized function? So here parameter means this is also comes under the user defined function. Actually, basically the user defined function means these sort of functions needs to or want to created by the user or the programmer. That's what the user defined function. But in that case, a predefined function, we don't want to create any functions and we don't want to give any comments because of that functions, because the predefined functions already created and executed and added in that same software PHP. We can use it whenever we want as a predefined function. But in this case, user defined function, whatever the function we want, those kind of functions needs to be created by the user. needs to be created by the user or the programmer. That's what user-defined function. So the user-defined function is divided into two parts. The first part is without the parameter and second part is with the parameter. So if you use any parameter in user-defined function, that function comes under this parameterized function. Actually, why we want to use the parameter in function definition means to transfer or to pass the value from one function to another function. That's why we need to use the parameter. Actually, parameter means to pass the value from one function to another function. That's what parameter. But the value passed to the parameter means that value is assigned to the argument. That is an argument. That is an argument. So, if you use in between opening and closing parentheses, that is parameter. If we pass any values to that same parameter means that value is an argument. That value is an argument, and that parameter or value inside the function is a variable. So object is one. So object is one, but where it is encountered or where it is counted, and that moment the name will be changed. If the variable be in between, opening and closing parenthesis means that is a parameter. And then if we pass a value to that same parameter means that value is argument. If the parameter comes inside the function means, and that moment that's mean as variable. That's what here. So the parameter list is not a limited one. We can give how much of parameters we need, but we need to separate by the comma notation. And then here I have given one example for parameterized function. See that example. Actually, this is also I already told. This is also comes under user-defined function, but here in this user-defined function, I have used some parameters to pass values from one function to another function. That's why this comes under parameterized function. So see the example, very simple example I have given to make you understand very clearly. So here opening and closing default tag of PHP program. So I already told you. So here I have created a function name school_name. So school_name is a user-defined function. Whenever we want to use or whenever we want to use a user-defined function, at the moment we need to suffix. We need to not suffix. We need to prefix the function keyword. Here I have prefixed a function as a keyword in front of the function name school_name. So first is function keyword space, one space, and then school_name is a function name. After that I have given opening and closing parentheses. Inside the opening and closing parentheses I have used one parameter. That parameter name is as name. So actually this is a parameter. That's why I have used the dollar symbol. In PHP we need to use the dollar symbol. Then only that can be used as a parameter or a variable. So the function name is school name. This is a function. That's why I have prefixed the keyword function. I have used the parameter. This is parameter functions. Then only I have used the parameter as name inside the opening and closing parentheses. After that I am going to give the statement or comments. Here I have used one echo statement to print as name. Here I have used. So for that I have given opening and closing curly braces. So if you want to create one block of function name, at the moment we need to use the opening and closing curly braces. Then only it became as a block of code. So in between opening and closing curly braces, I have used one statement, that means echo statement, to print the parameter $s_name dot in Tamil Nadu is a string I have given directly. That's why I have enclosed the string by the double upper quotations, and then I have used the break tag. I need one break. That's why I have used break tag. So here I have used 3 elements. That's why I have used dot operator to separate these 3 elements. The first element is s_name, and second element is in Tamil Nadu, and third element is break statement, break tag. That's why I have used the dot, and then I closed the code by giving the closing angle bracket. So after that I have called the school name function in 5 times. In these 5 times I have given a string name different methods. That is, in the first calling s_name, in the first calling I have used the government higher secondary school Madurai. In the second call of school name function, I have given the value, parameter value as a government higher secondary school Tiruchi. And in the third school name function calling, I have given a parameter value government higher secondary school Chennai. And then in a fourth function calling of a school name function, I have given the parameter value, that means argument, government higher secondary school Kanjipuram. And finally in a fifth calling, I have given a argument, that means a parameter value government higher secondary school Tirunelveli. These 5s are a string I have given as a parameter value, but string means I have enclosed the string by the double upper quotations, and finally I have ended with a semicolon. So in a PHP programming language, always we need to give the semicolon to end one line of code. That's what I have given. This is the example for the parameters function. So in next video we will see arrays in PHP. Thanks for watching this video in our channel EM365. Like and subscribe, press the bell icon and select all. Our new videos will reach you always.